Hello, I am Bebop and welcome to our recap video. I'm touching his genitals. I just realized that's awkward. What up, guys? I am Bebop and I just got back from Gamescom and we checked out a lot. We had a lot of exclusive interviews. Some stuff is pretty crazy awesome. So let me do a little recap about day one, and then I'll come out with another recap for day two. Gamescom 2012 is like the E3 of Europe in Cologne, Germany. If you've never been there, basically when you enter, it's like 10 buildings and they're all connected. Pretty much like giant warehouses. Well, right when we arrived, the League of Legends Championships pretty much dominate 3 buildings in total. They have at least one massive e-sport of it going on in a corner. But the first thing to do at any convention is scout the area. So we ran around all over the convention all day, only to find out that Germans love farming games. Pretty much to the point of tackling each other for games that are being thrown out. And, of course, I had to ride one myself. But swag like this, you definitely don't see being thrown out at E3. Oh, and of course, you know, cosplay everywhere. There's even one warehouse, well, building, that is pretty much half just a cosplay show. One thing that sets Gamescom apart from E3, all the booths feel like a party, either techno to destroy your eardrums or just making the booth feel like a rave and throwing t-shirts out. And all kinds of other swag from keychains to CDs. So the first thing we had to hit up was Borderlands, and my buddy Eric was playing cameraman, but they wouldn't let us take any in. So I got these really bad phone camera pictures. But honestly, it was probably for the best, because even though we saw trailers and we know this game looks good, the platform that we were playing on and the graphics were set so low, it was absolutely disappointing. But we still knew the gameplay was quality and this wasn't going to affect our opinion of it. So then we kept scouting the area, and one thing we did was make sure to see who we wanted to interview for day 2. And we played a lot of games, but unfortunately a media pass doesn't get us cutting in line for all of them. You know, like Black Ops 2 or anything you want to play that's Bethesda. They are very stingy when it comes to that. So I actually can't review them for you, but we checked out a ton of awesome great games. One of which we didn't play though was Crysis, and it's because they only had it on the Xbox on the showroom floor, which actually capped it out at 30 frames per second. One example of this is with Hitman, but don't get me started. But then we finally met up with In the Littlewood, also known as Martin, and the Yogscast in the EA VIP lounge. This place was so swanky. Drinks everywhere, food everywhere. They even fed stormtroopers now that their Death Star blew up. But I even saw some people that I interviewed from E3. And overall, it's just a great setting to chill out after doing a bunch of interviews and running around for 8 hours. So then we set forth and we checked out the business area, and that is only open from Wednesday to Friday. This is basically where all the developers hang out and do actual interviews. What's funny too is that 3 fans while walking around called me out. Being in Germany, I was impressed, so that was pretty cool. Me and Martin actually tried to do a meetup as well, but the place is so big, so compact, we didn't run into anybody when we planned to, but then we kept running into people accidentally that knew us. One of them was even a developer for HeroCon Online, so hey, how's it going? So then we kept running around, and that's when we ran into Hitman Absolution. Awesome game, so much fun to play, was excellent on the PlayStation, awesome on the PC, and of course, they had to do a 3-monitor setup. Come on, if you can do it, why not? But unfortunately, this is when it goes downhill. The Xbox. This is footage I took. Oh god, the frames per second were absolutely terrible. Not to mention, the one I was playing on actually crashed and gave me this awesome green screen. So the game that's coming out very soon, just around the corner, definitely disappointed with this. Only the 360 version though, everything else was pretty fun. So then we moved on to Far Cry 3. Woo, this game was fun, so smooth. They almost didn't let us take a camera in, but then they double checked and they were like, yeah, alright, you look like cool guys. But we couldn't film any direct shots of the game itself. They had pretty much a King of the Hill type style going on where you stabbed the barrel and lit on fire on all 3 zones. But overall, very enjoyable game, especially for multiplayer. We didn't get to play any campaign mode. However, on our way out, I gotta check out the map editor. It's currently in alpha and I saw nothing online about this yet, so that footage will be going up. After watching him play and build with it, it really resembles the Second Life building method if you guys are familiar with it. It's very simple and user-friendly, especially the controls where you zoom around and zoom in. It's very Second Life related. But also it is still very Far Cry 2, but more user-friendly. And then it was on to more cosplay. Cosplay was everywhere, and lots of German signs I couldn't understand. But then, Guild Wars 2, where nothing was going on. It was more like a giant lounge just to hang out, because it's coming out just around the corner. But it did have an awesome fountain. This is much different than what they did last year, which was pretty much a giant booth block party. But then our next stop walking around was Shadow Company 2, which had a bit of esports going on when we arrived. But really, it just seemed a lot like Counter-Strike, to be honest. But very Call of Duty as well. However, though, it was nicely dressed up with guns everywhere. And you know what? Chicks with aviator glasses? Yeah, and a gun. All right, you win. But pretty much it was a giant seizure booth. It had people just standing around with random guns everywhere. Then as we left, right outside was Navy Field that had a very sharp submarine-looking booth. It's a nice-looking RTS top-style version. But then, I'm not gonna lie, I get distracted by shiny objects real easily. So as we left, found video cards all nicely set up. 6 gigs of RAM on one of them. And pretty much looks like a transformer. Win in my book. And then we ran into a game called Firefall, which I've never heard of until I went to Gamescom, which I now very much enjoy. Not only that, but we got an interview with Dave, who's the senior designer of the game. He talked more about the game and where they plan to go with it. Oh, and gave me tons of beta codes to hook you guys up with. So make sure to comment below, like the video, and subscribe if you want a chance to win one. I'll pick you guys at random. But it's a very cool FPS MMO that's kind of like Borderlands with tribes mixed in. All online, and better yet, all free to play and not pay to win. And their cosplay? Oh god, I need to know where to buy this suit. This dude looks awesome. Not the chick suit. Although, that was pretty distracting. But then, every convention that I go to, I cannot leave without playing Hawken. Such a great FPS mecha game in the works. This time I got my hands on the alpha version, but there was also an audio glitch, so we didn't hear any of the cool mecha sounds. Honestly though, the visuals are so appealing and the gameplay is so much fun, that was not an issue whatsoever. So with that, we finally left the convention to find our hotel room, only to discover we were sharing the same hotel as apparently one of the biggest German Let's Players, what I like to call Yogscast Germany. He was almost mugged by fans while at Gamescom. But it's also probably the first time at a convention that I actually got 8 hours of sleep, which was amazing. All to get ready for the chaos on day 2. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this little insight into Gamescom and what gaming conventions are like in another country. Be sure to subscribe for more gaming news, then be awesome YouTubers and like for our hard work, because we have all those interviews incoming. I am Bebop Fox, and be sure to check out day 2 and see you guys in game.